So for this recital, it's a conversational recital. I have absolutely no idea what's going to happen this evening. I have no control over really a lot of the elements. I got the idea from a conference I presented at in Knoxville in February. One of the women that did a session did a presentation on engaging community members in classical music concerts. And one of the ideas that she had was to do a conversational recital. And looking up conversational recitals online, couldn't find anything. I have no idea how it's supposed to play out, so I kind of did my own version. And also last year when I did my recital here, I kind of came out and instead of doing an encore, I said, let's just have a conversation. So it's inspired by those two things. If you look in your program, there's an asterisk after all of the movements where I'm designating conversation time. During that time, you're allowed to raise your hand and ask a question within reason. I will refrain from answering anything overly personal. And then you're allowed to bounce ideas back and forth between each other and myself. That's sort of the intent. Keep in mind I have 50 minutes worth of music, so if you don't want to be here for 2.5 hours, be a little bit selective about what it is that you're asking, but I'm hoping that it's a warm, friendly, and quite possibly funny. to take a break in between movements of a Beethoven sonata. Usually you'll go moving 1, 2, 3 back to back, and then I'll go to clap, and then I'll walk off stage and take a breath, and then I'll come back, which isn't happening this evening. So we're taking a break between movement 1, and it's going to be okay. Does anybody have any questions or comments they'd like to share? Oh, that's my skills face. We've got 6. Okay, Kate. Did you guys hear her? She said, how long did it take you to become this good at piano? Well, how old do you think I am? I've been playing piano for approximately 27 years. I practice a lot of hours. So for this program, I started practicing in June. I put an average of 5 or 6 hours every single day to get ready. And I still didn't play it perfectly, and it's okay. That's really good, she said. You forgot?
I have a question. How long does it take you to learn that you had no music?
No.
You're playing all this.
This whole thing is from memory.
How long and how do you break it down to learn to play something like this?
Yeah.
As flawlessly as you have.
Flawlessly is an exaggeration. Let's see. The Beethoven I just played for you, I learned for the first time in 2007. And I haven't played it since then. And then I broke it out again this summer to get ready for this. And a lot. I practice a lot. And then it's divided. There's 2 more movements, so I think the whole thing runs about 25 minutes. I, at any point in this performance, can skip ahead to a section. So I've got starting points every 8 measures memorized. So when I do have a memory slip, I did have a couple in here. I'm internally shaking. I'm able to quickly fast forward to the next spot. So that's part of the memorization. The other part is sort of trusting myself, which is a lifelong process.
So you actually memorize it in sections.
Exactly. Yep. And then
you learn that section, and then you move to the next
That's right.
one, and then you play the 2 together.
That's right.
And then you move to the 3rd one, and you learn that. I was wondering how.
Yeah. Yeah, and also I think when you play something enough with the music, you kind of just naturally memorize it. So it's not just cognitive, but it's physical and it's auditory memory. It's like a whole gamut of things. Before I fell asleep last night, I ran through this entire program in my head probably 6 times. And I can like close my eyes and see every single note and feel every single note all the way through from beginning to end. So it's in here. When I come to a part where I don't know in my head what it is, it's because it's not fully memorized and I have to break up the score and try it again. So it's a whole process.
When you play these 3 different composers, every one of them has a particular style and approach to music.
Right.
Obviously I watched what you were doing, and when I see you playing Beethoven, you seem to play on the lower end of the scale down here a lot.
Yeah.
What was Beethoven's approach, and could you just do a small excerpt and tell us why that is his theme, if you will, his approach to music?
To composing, you mean? Or do you mean, yeah. So when he was composing the piano, was just kind of reaching that point of development where everything could be used. So he was known for breaking the strings on the previous instrument because he exploited dynamics so extremely. So with this, part of the challenge is the contrast, right? The dynamic contrast back and forth that I think I do an okay job with. I don't think I quite mastered it. Trying to answer your question. It's hard to answer your question because his repertoire, his compositions span such a long, and they're all completely different. So his first period, they're more kind of classically based, where this middle period, I think I wrote in the program notes, they're a little bit more powerful, as proven by this movement. The second movement is a little bit more intimate, in my opinion, and then the third starts out really delicate, beautiful, a little haunting, and then it gets more aggressive as it moves on. His later sonatas are really profound. So I don't know if there's really one way to answer that question, because there's such a... my physical approach to playing with Beethoven WC is more of a floating, you have to float to get the sound, and Chopin is more upper body approach. So my physical approach to all of them is also entirely different. Does that kind of answer your question?
Yeah, that's it.
Together, and if there's a break in between, it really kind of ruins the moment. There's a really magical moment in the third movement that I didn't want to deprive you of. Hopefully I won't if I forget what I'm doing, but that's the reason I didn't put a gap in, because there's a moment that needs to happen that I didn't feel comfortable messing with.
for you involves kind of your music selection portion. How do you decide, whenever you're setting up for a concert like this, what music you're going to live with for the next, 6 months or so? I mean, how do you make those decisions? Is it mainly like personal, like
Yeah.
what you like? Or?
I'll answer you honestly, and I wish that this wasn't my answer. I'm not very seasoned with that yet.
Oh, okay.
So I'm only just really 3 years out of graduate school, and when you're a student, you pretty much, you have some degree of choice of repertoire, but for the most part, you're constantly making choices based on your next step. There's certain milestones you have to meet to get degrees, and also you have to meet certain repertoire requirements to get into different schools and different programs. So last year when I did my recital program here, a portion of the repertoire was auditions for jobs, and then I filled in with a Schumann piece that I learned in my doctoral program. For this one, this is, the WC that I'm about to play for you is the first piece I've learned independent of any guidance from an instructor. And so when I was choosing this program, I thought, okay, I'm going to take a risk. I'm actually completely terrified to play in public because it's all me. So I didn't want to take an over risk, so I chose something I've never done before to kind of get my feet wet in it, and then I chose 2 pieces I played in the past. The Beethoven, I wanted to get my technical abilities up again, and so that's obviously a good choice for that. And the Chopin is one of my all-time favorite pieces ever. I learned it in 2004, so it had been about 10 years since I played it, and I played the third Ballade last year, and I just was really anxious to play the fourth again. So there's no cohesiveness in my selections. Next year, I think maybe I'll do a little bit of a better job in terms of choosing repertoire, but that's how I.
I was just wondering because there are all these pieces seem to have very increasing difficulty, and I didn't know if there was like the Beethoven you said technically proficient, right?
Yeah, I tend to choose pieces that are technically challenging, just because
Cool.
I can play them and it really makes me step it up. I get invigorated when I play technically challenging things. I don't play them perfectly, but questions, play the Chopin, and we'll kind of wrap it up. Anybody has any comments or questions?
Yeah, some music, this is a personal thing, some music I don't like